policy think tank, IMANI, Center for Energy and Education, and Prof Kofi Anning have filed a suit at the Supreme Court challenging the constitutionality of the removal of some members of the public services, including the IGP and the other security agency heads, from office by President. Now, the two contend that such termination of the appointment of the IGP, the Controller General of the Ghana Immigration Service, the Chief Fire Officer, and the Director General of the Prison Service by the President are unconstitutional and should be declared as void. Now, joining us now is Franklin Cudjoe, who is founding President and Chief Executive of the IMANI Center for Policy and Education. Franklin joins us via Zoom. Franklin, why is this necessary now?
Good afternoon, Cudjoe. This is actually Profi, part of the IMANI team. Franklin is not available. Okay. I don't know if you can hear me.
All right. I can.
Sure, right. So the basis of our writ lies within the context of Article 191. When you look at Article 191, it gives protection, certain protections for public officers. Now, protection against victimization, and then against discrimination as well, so far as they are discharging their duties faithfully in accordance with the Constitution, so that they cannot be dismissed or removed from office or deranked, lowered in terms of rank prior to their retirement. Now, we have witnessed along the years, you bear witness with us, that there has been some trend of precedents in different tenures, either replacing the public office holders or removing such prior to replacing them with other individuals. We know fairly well how the appointments go, that the president, in consultation with the Council of State, will make such an appointment. And the very functioning of these individuals is also at the direction of either, for example, the police service or the police council, or the prison service council. What we are not quite sure about, or what hasn't come to the limelight, is the procedures for the removal. The Constitution itself states quite clearly that there should be some just cause prior to the removal of these public officials, either proving stated misconduct of these individuals, or the fact that they have misbehaved and it has been established legally that they have misbehaved, or that they are experiencing what we call the incapacity to perform their functions, either through the infirmity of the mind or body, retirement, or death, or resignation. So these are the listed causes that the Constitution states. But when you look at the examples that we've shown, whether it's Mr. Emmanuel Ajato, who used to be the DG of the prison service, he was removed in 2017. When you look at the example of the former IGP Peter Nanfuri, and then you look at, in 2009, another IGP, Patrick Kwating Champong, you would realize that all these individuals were removed either during the tenure of a president or when the president comes into power. Now, we believe that, and sometimes without any reason being provided at all, we believe that this is a trend that is not really advised or supervised by the Constitution. The Constitution clearly states how these individuals should be removed, and that is not what we are following. So by this writ, we hope to, entrench the very fact that the Constitution specifically has procedures in removing these public officials, so that we avoid, the expediency that we experience either by political or by personal liking to one individual or the other, that people get to that office and then they are removed prior to their retirement, their death, or their resignation. So that's the context to the writ that we filed at the Supreme Court.
But is it a case that IMANI is speaking some information that we are not aware of, and that's why you think this is the right time for you to go to court on this?
No. I mean, any time is the right time to test the law. That's what we feel. We are enriching the jurisprudence of the very function of the Constitution in our legal framework, and also our political framework as well. We've chosen to do this because we feel that it's important. The time is not really of any essence at all, and we do not have any information as to what is impending. Once the Supreme Court agrees with us, you would also probably agree with us that this is also going to help in the security of tenure of these very important individuals, and it would make them not kowtow to some political dictates. They will be free to work as a very public service is supposed to be free to work, and then we can, move forward as a country.
What if the court disagree with you?
Well, that's a possibility. In the wisdom of the courts, if they do disagree with us, I mean, obviously, we are going to respect that decision. But we believe clearly that the arguments that we have put forward are very cogent. The arguments that seem to, highlight the very letter and spirit of the Constitution. And then when we come to that, bridge, I'm sure we will cross that.
All right, let me bring in, a senior vice president of IMANI, who is also a lawyer, Mr. Kofi Bento, to help us. I mean, he's your colleague as well. Mr. Bento, I'm grateful for joining us. You're a lawyer, so how do you see this turning out in court, looking at what the Constitution says about the powers of the president in appointing someone, and now because IMANI thinks that there's a bit of a silence on how the appointment can be terminated, you're going to court to challenge it. How can this play out in court? All right. Let's see how it goes. But there's an interesting issue here. To wrap up with you, you expect that this will probably go your way, and then it gives direction as to how these appointments can be terminated. So after that, what next?
Well, so I guess that question is meant for me.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
We are going to continue as a think tank to, highlight on very, very salient issues which we believe we are not following in terms of the dictates of the Constitution. What next is that there will be, like I said, guarantee of tenure for these important public offices, and we will continue to work hard and look within our laws to find out if we need the Supreme Court's interpretation to invoke articles that are relevant to their interpretation as we move along.
Sometimes we do see that people will bring together scholars to try and, so after testing the case in court, are there other indications of probably bringing scholars together to have a round table on how this can be done, probably to then recommend some sort of amendment to that provision in the Constitution?
Yeah, so I mean, IMANI always works like in a three-stem manner. We do a lot of research. We also do consultative dialogues as well, and then we try to influence policy as well. That's a wonderful idea. We are thinking through what will happen next. Now we're just focused on what will happen at the Supreme Court. I believe there has to be some sensitization afterwards, which we are very, very happy to pursue.
But let's bring in Prof Anning here. He's a research analyst with IMANI Africa. Let's get his thought also on this particular matter. Prof, grateful to you for joining us, sir. So yes, you're going to court to challenge that the appointment and disappointment by the president. Appointment you're not challenging, but you're challenging the disappointment. Why is that the case now?
This is Prof. I've been talking to you. I think you may probably have gotten the names wrong. Like I mentioned, we are very, very much inspired by identifying some of the, arguable loopholes in our public space, and this is one of the issues that we had been thinking through over the last couple of months, which we feel it's important to test our laws on. So, like I did mention, we are very, very expectant that the Supreme Court would agree with us, and we respect the wisdom of the Supreme Court if they do not. But what is it's essential, and what this effort has proven is that persons which are recognized by the law have the capacity to test the law if they feel that it's not consistent with what the Constitution dictates, and that is what we are pursuing in this matter.
I'm grateful to you. Let's see how this matter goes, because this is quite an interesting one. We'll see how this goes in court. Grateful to you for joining us, sir.
Thank you.
So, I'm Prof Anning is Research Associate with IMANI Africa.